everybody, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to use the Live Paint tool to color things easier and faster in Illustrator. Let's get started. So real quick, I'm going to show you guys how to make a 2D drawing and export that as an Illustrator file using Rhino. This is my model that I want to export as a 2D drawing, but before I do that, I'm going to go over here to the viewport options right here, and I want to change the projection to parallel. I'm going to go to view, I'm going to go to set view, I'm going to go to isometric, and now that I have the view that I want, I am going to select the whole object. In the command bar, I'm going to type in make 2D. I'm going to make sure that I have the scene silhouette and group output selected. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to go to my top view, and now that I have my drawing here, I'm going to select it. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to hit Export Selected. Down here where it says Save as Type, there is an option to choose Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to hit that one. I'm going to type in the file name, and I'm going to hit Save. Now I've opened up that file that I exported as an Illustrator file from Rhino. And the first thing that I want to point out is that my Adobe Illustrator interface might look different from yours. As always, that option to switch your workplace layout is always going to be up here in the right where it says switch workplace. You can use all these different presets. I use Essentials Classic, but I do have a few things popped up and moved around. This is how I have my workspace and how I've come to it over time. Of course, if you ever want to find these windows, you can always go to window up here and find which one you want. I have the layers, color, Pathfinder, and properties open. Now, first things first, we can see that this drawing exported the same color as my model that was in Rhino, and we can see that it exported on a very large artboard. Now I can change my artboard size, going here, edit artboard. Right now it is a 36 by 22. I just want to have a regular paper size, so I'm going to edit that by just typing in the size that I want. And now I've changed my paper size, and I want to make my drawing a little bit bigger. I'm going to select all of it by clicking down on the left and dragging. Now I've selected it all. Just like how we changed the artboard size, I'm going to go over here and change the size of my model. But I'm going to make sure that my constraints are locked. That way it doesn't distort the size and proportions of my model. But before I get into it, I want to talk about these layers over here. Layers are very important. Rhino exported some layers from that 2D drawing that I generated. Now when I hit this eye icon right here for each layer, I can see which layer holds certain lines or shapes. So I know that this layer right here is the main layer with all those shapes, whereas this layer is perhaps the outline of it. I'm going to delete this layer right here just by making sure I have that layer highlighted and hitting the trash button right here and hitting yes. Now I have my main layer. I'm just going to rename this to main. That way I don't get confused. Looking at this drawing of my model, I can see a few issues that I would like to correct before I start coloring this in. Some of the lines are missing in my model. Some of the lines are overlapping like here and here. And that's okay because I can edit it here in Adobe Illustrator. So I'm just going to zoom in hitting Control+. I just want to have these lines connected. That way when I go in to color it, I don't have any inconsistencies. So right now these lines are different segments. This is just an automatic thing that Rhino does. I'm going to select these different line segments by holding down the Shift key and clicking on the next one. That way it allows me to select more than one thing at once. And then I'm just going to right click and hit join. Now it's just one line. I'm going to go over here to my pen tool right here, and this will allow me to complete the line right here. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to connect it right there. And now it has connected that one line into one. And then I'm going to continue connecting these broken lines. I do want to show you guys something real quick. Right now, there are some areas that I do not want to be this straight. I do want these to curve out. That way it is consistent with my model. On the left, I'm going to make sure that I select my direct selection tool right here. This will allow me to grab my anchor points. I'm going to click on this line, and here we can see these little square dots are my anchors. Now anchors can determine the line's behavior. So I'm going to click this one area right here since it's that sharp angle, and I'm going to go over here. I'm gonna hit this curvy line right here, and what this does is it converts the selected anchor points to smooth, and we can see that it is no longer that straight angle. So now that I've done that, I'm gonna continue connecting my broken lines. like in my video where I used my rectangle tool and different shape tools to color in my sections, I'm going to show you a really cool tool that can get this done pretty fast. I'm going to left click and hold down and select everything. Over here, I can edit the color of my lines in my drawing. Right now, like I mentioned before, it is the color of my model from Rhino, but I'm just going to select it and I'm just going to change it to a regular black color, make the line weight a little bit smaller. Now I am going to start coloring everything in. I'm going to select everything again. The tool that I want to use is the Live Paint tool. So it's going to be over here on the left. This one is the shape builder. I'm going to right click on it. That way I can select the Live Paint bucket tool, or you can hit K on your keyboard. Now I have a live paint group and we can see that it's starting to highlight all these little shapes in red. So now I can color these little areas individually. Over here in properties, I can change the color by going over here and selecting the fill and selecting whatever color I want, or going to my swatches. I'm going to go to the swatch libraries menu. I am going to go to color books and I'm going to go to this one right here, True Match. And now I have all these colors to choose from. And because my model is supposed to be an island, I'm going to choose earthy tones and start coloring stuff in. So all I have to do is select a color that I want and just click on whatever is highlighted. If I want to use a different color for a different area, I can just go back up here and choose a different color and it automatically does that for me. I'm just going to finish coloring this in. This is what my drawing looks like colored in, and it only took me a very short amount of time using the Live Paint tool. This is my before and after editing my drawing in Illustrator using the Live Paint tool. So what do you guys think? Pretty easy, right? I wish I had learned that early on, like a long time ago, because I learned the hard way and it took me forever to color things in my own primitive way. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.